In continuation to the properties of D block elements, the next property of D block elements is oxidation states. Oxidation states. See, in general, all non-D block elements, especially metals, like sodium, calcium, potassium, all these exhibit single oxidation states. What is that? Single oxidation state. Let us take the case of sodium. It will exhibit single oxidation state. Single oxidation state, that is +1 oxidation state. What is that? +1 oxidation state. Coming to calcium, calcium is also non-D block element and it is also metal. It will exhibit single oxidation state, that is +2. And coming to potassium, potassium is also metal and it will also exhibit +1 oxidation state. +1 oxidation state. So all these are non-D block metals and they will exhibit only single oxidation state. Single oxidation state. Coming to sodium, it will exhibit +1. Coming to calcium, +2. Potassium, +1. All these are non-D block metals. Coming to D block elements, D block metals, all these exhibit variable oxidation states. What is that? Variable oxidation state. That means it will exhibit more than one oxidation states. More than one oxidation states. Let us take the case of titanium, scandium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper. All these exhibit more than one oxidation states. More than one oxidation states. Coming to scandium. Scandium will exhibit +2 oxidation state and +3 oxidation state also. +3 oxidation state also. Coming to titanium, it will exhibit +2, +3 and +4 also. So in this fashion, all D block elements or all D block metals except someone exhibit variable oxidation states. So oxidation state, that is our topic. Oxidation states, that is our topic. So all D block elements except someone exhibit variable oxidation states. Variable oxidation states. Take the case of scandium, it will exhibit +2 and +3. Take the case of titanium, it will exhibit +2, +3 and +4 also. Okay. So coming to manganese. Manganese atomic number is 25, and the configuration of manganese is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2 and finally 3d5, 3d5. Okay, so in this case, manganese will exhibit maximum oxidation states by using both 4s electrons and 3d5 electrons. That means manganese will exhibit maximum oxidation state in 3d series, that is +7 oxidation state. +7 oxidation state, and it will exhibit +2 state, +3 state, and +4, depending upon chemical compound. Okay, so in 3D series, there are totally 10 elements are there in D block. There are 10 elements in D block, namely scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, and zinc. Except zinc, all elements except zinc in 3D series, all elements will exhibit variable oxidation states. What is that? Variable oxidation states. Variable oxidation states. That means they will exhibit more than one oxidation states. So how they form more than one oxidation states? How they form more than one oxidation states? A simple reason is in the last class I have told you that the general electronic configuration of D block elements is n-1 D 1 to 10 ns 1 or 2. That and all we have discussed. So coming to our topic, that is variable oxidation states. Variable oxidation states. Variable oxidation states. How they can form more than one oxidation states. In general, all metals except D block elements, they will exhibit single oxidation states. Especially metals. Just now I have told you that sodium will exhibit +1 only. Calcium will exhibit +2 only, and potassium will exhibit +1 only. But D block elements can exhibit more than one oxidation state. The only reason is they can use both ns electrons and n-1d electrons to exhibit variable oxidation states. I mean it can lose both ns electrons and n-1d electrons in the compound formation. So that is the reason why all D block elements exhibit more than one oxidation states. More than one oxidation states. So in 3D series, maximum oxidation state exhibited by manganese, and that is +7, and it will also exhibit +2 also, +3, +3, +4, +5, depending upon chemical situation, In 4D series, maximum oxidation state exhibited by, in 4D series, maximum oxidation state exhibited by the metal ruthenium. What is that? Ruthenium. It will exhibit +8 oxidation state. +8 oxidation state. And in the case of 5D series, in the case of 5D series, maximum oxidation state exhibited by osmium. What is that? Osmium. And maximum state exhibited by osmium is +8. Osmium will exhibit +8 oxidation state. Next, a special case is in the properties of D block elements is titanium 3 ion. Titanium 3 ion will exhibit violet color in aqueous form. This is a special case in third semester syllabus. So why titanium 3 ion? Will exhibit violet color in aqueous form. This is a special case. So to explain this question, we have to deal with the splitting of d orbitals. We have to deal with splitting of d orbital. See, in the formation of compounds, D block elements show splitting of d orbitals. We know very well that in D sublevel there are 5 orbitals in D sublevel. This is D sublevel. When this D sublevel forming compound with other elements, during formation of compound, these 5 d orbitals will excite somewhat, to higher state. So at this position, all d orbitals have equal energy. That means degenerate orbitals. degenerate orbitals at this position. That means all orbitals have equal energy. In octahedral complexes, titanium in octahedral complexes, titanium 3 ion will exhibit violet color. Why? That is the reason I am explaining. So while forming compound, the 5 d orbitals of titanium will excite somewhat to a higher energy, and at that point all orbitals have equal energy. After that the 5 d orbitals will split into two categories. One is Eg orbitals, and another is T2g orbitals. What is that? T2g orbitals. So these two orbitals will have higher energy than these 5 degenerate orbitals, and these 3 orbitals have less energy than these 5 degenerate orbitals. So these two are collectively called as Eg. What is that? Eg. And these 3 are collectively called as T2g orbitals. What is that? T2g orbitals. So now I am taking the case of this compound. I mean hexa-aqua titanium 3 ion. Hexa-aqua titanium 3 ion. In this complex, titanium is in +3 oxidation state. So to explain violet color of this complex, first of all we have to take titanium atomic number, that is 22. What is that? 22. Configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and finally 3d2. But now titanium is in +3 state. From this we can confirm that. So this +3 means we have to remove 3 electrons from its outermost shell. So in this titanium element, outermost shell is 4s and 3d. And the remaining configuration is not outermost shell. So just ignore this one. So our concern is only 4s and 3d. Here in 4s orbital there are 2 electrons, and in 3d there are 2 electrons. But now in our complex titanium is in +3 state. That means we have to remove 2 electrons from here, 1 electron from here, 2 electrons from here, 1 electron from here. After removing 3 electrons from its outermost shell, there is only 1 electron present in 3d sublevel, that is configuration is 3d1. Now coming to this splitting of d sublevel. Okay. Now there is only one electron. There is only one electron in T2g orbital. T2g orbital. So after absorption of energy, this electron will jump from here to here, that means d to d transition, that means electron will jump from d to d. So if the electron jump from d to d, after absorption of energy, color will exhibit. That color is violet in nature. Generally, electrons will jump from same energy level, d to d, color will appear somewhat less than strong. So that violet color will appear slightly in nature. Okay. So in this titanium 3 ion complex, electron will jump from T2g set to EG set, and that color will appear as violet to the naked eye. Generally, DD transitions have color which appear to the naked eye is very slight in color. So that is the reason why titanium 3 ion will exhibit violet color due to D to D transition. If you take the case of manganese, manganese atomic number is 25, configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and finally 3d5. So now take the case of compound Mn S44. In this compound, manganese is in +2 state. So +2 means we have to remove 2 electrons from its outermost shell. So after removing 2 electrons from its outermost shell, there are only 5 electrons in 3D sublevel. So after removing 2 electrons from its outermost shell, there are only 5 electrons in 3D sublevel. Now I am writing electronic configuration of 3D sublevel. So all orbitals have 1 electron each, and after excitation again 5 electrons are there. That means all orbitals containing each electron. After splitting D sublevel, into two sets. Even in that case also, each orbital contain one electron each. So now our concept is why manganese compounds are pale in color. Pale in color because even after splitting of d sublevel, each orbital, I mean in the case of D2G set, in the case of EG set, all orbitals containing one electron each. So during transition from D to D, it is a forbidden transition because this electron move from D and reaches again D. That is contradiction point number 1. And point number 2, reversing of spin is not possible. Reversing of spin is not possible and that is not allowed. So due to these two reasons, that means transition from D to D, that is forbidden, and reversing of spin is not possible generally. So that is the reason why this electron partially reaches this position, and sometimes it is not possible. So that is the reason why all manganese compounds are pale pink in color. So why all manganese compounds are pale in colors? That the reason is D to D transition, one of the reason, and another reason is reversing of spin is not possible. So that is forbidden transition. So that is the reason why electron will not tendency to jump from bottom to upper, I mean lower energy to higher energy. So that is the reason why all manganese compounds show pale pink colors. Okay. Next. Next, catalytic properties. Almost all D block elements exhibit catalytic properties. So iron acts as catalyst in the preparation of ammonia. In Haber process. Haber process. Okay. Iron acts as catalyst in Haber process, it is a process to prepare ammonia bulk in scale, okay, or bulk scale. So that is catalytic property of iron. Coming to nickel acts as catalyst. Acts as catalyst in hydrogenation of oils. oils. Hydrogenation of oils means in the preparation of dalda. In the preparation of dalda. So during that process, nickel acts as catalyst. Catalyst means it is added to speed up the reaction. Generally, some reactions are very slow at room temperature or at room conditions. To speed up that reaction, generally we are adding foreign substances, and that foreign substance is called catalyst. So in the hydrogenation of oils, nickel acts as catalyst. In the same way, in the preparation of nitric acid, 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 in Oswald process, in Oswald process, Oswald's process, platinum acts as catalyst. Platinum acts as catalyst. Platinum acts as catalyst. Okay, coming to another catalytic property, that is vanadium. Vanadium acts as catalyst in the preparation of sulfuric acid in the form of V2O5, vanadium pentoxide. Vanadium pentoxide acts as a catalyst, in the preparation of sulfuric acid, H2SO4, in bulk scale.